Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the Echols Unlimited Podcast. Today, I have the privilege of talking to one of my good friends from school, the man himself, Marcos. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
Chilling, enjoying these last few weeks before we head back to Maris. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what it
Yes,
is. And
sir.
yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Marcos is the assistant to Jake Paul, one of the biggest entertainers, YouTubers. He does a lot of different stuff, and Marcos helps him out with his everyday. And people don't know he's also a professional videographer and photographer as well.
Yes, sir. Videographer, photographer, editor, do it all, man. I still do work for Jake every now and then doing, filming for him or editing some videos for him. But not as much as I used to when I first started with him, for sure.
Yeah, like didn't you start as as like a
I s
video person or
Yeah, I mean, when I started with him back last May. I started with him as an editor. I was actually an assistant editor. Um and I started off as that. I was doing that for a couple months for him, and then the person that hired me, a part of his team, which was his creative director Ari, um, he he got let go by Jake. So then I kind of took over his position a bit. I started doing a little bit more filming, more editing, and then I got in touch with a friend of mine from Miami to be my assistant editor for Jake. And then from there, it was kind of like I grew into being his day-to-day manager assistant just because I was with him at that point for like 6 months. So he was looking for an assistant day-to-day because something happened with his old one, like his previous one. It was like he was starting to move on to like a family job. So
right?
then he hired this lady. Things didn't work out with her. She was on a trial for like a month. Things didn't work out with her. So then he ended up asking me if I was interested in that position. He thought I'd kill it, and also he liked the fact that I was able to pick up a camera when needed or edit something when needed.
Right.
So I took over that position, and I've been his day-to-day slash assistant since like November, the beginning of November, all the way up until now.
So you mentioned like first day it took you like you went 24 hours without sleeping. Like it never occurred to
Yeah.
you to be like, yo, Jake, man, I'm sorry, like I haven't slept. Let me just
Well,
get
well,
this.
no. Well, the thing is, when I first got there, I didn't really have a conversation with him for like the first 3 days.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like I didn't talk to him. He was like doing his own thing, and he didn't really know who I was.
right.
Um, but no, I didn't do that because it's like I was there at first for a trial, so obviously I wanted to prove that I was good enough. So
Right.
I don't care. I was just like pushing through it. I was doing what I needed to do, and
Absolutely.
it's like those 2 weeks turned into a month trial, which turned into a month and a half trial, which turned into 2 months trial, which then turned into like me being there and working there. You know, so it all worked out. You know, it all
Ab-
definitely worked out.
yeah, like how did what do you think he saw in you in those first like well Jake, not only Jake but like the whole team saw in you in like the
Um,
first few months, because like
that
obviously
was
you're such a hard worker, but like you're one of the most organized people I've ever seen in my life. So
I think that's what it was, that I was just working hard. I didn't, I didn't get up to go eat, spend an hour eating. I'd eat while I was editing. I
yeah,
didn't like I wasn't like messing around. I was just straight the whole day, just wired in editing. It was yeah, I think that's what it was. The organization and then the hard work.
mhm,
So I think that yeah,
yeah,
that's what he definitely saw, and then he like recognized that later on, at about like a month, 2 months in. So when he started to recognize that more.
yeah. And what did you know about him prior to working?
Not to be honest, not much. I wasn't one that like watched his vlogs or anything like that. Like I wasn't on YouTube like that. I was mostly on YouTube to watch like different creators, learn different editing things and like different stuff like that. I wasn't on there to watch like YouTubers. Yeah, maybe like David Dobrik, but like besides that, like I
Right.
wasn't on there like that. But like to me, he was just a normal dude, you know.
Yeah.
He was just a normal dude that makes videos.
Mhm.
Like, it wasn't anything like insane as people put it out to be, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. And then, so getting into like what you do as your job, like what are some of your responsibilities? What is it like to work with Jake Paul, and what's a typical day?
Um, wow, it's a cool day. I mean, it depends what the day is looking like. It switches up often, but basically, like some of the roles I have are like I play a more administrative role
Okay.
with Jake, so I'm more of like hands-on with like his lawyers or like his mom to deal with like legal stuff, or like more hands-on with like scheduling stuff for him with his business partners. Any business meetings that go on, anything with like key people that he meets with, or like even stuff within our team. Keep our team organized, make sure our team is taken care of when we travel, when anything needs to be scheduled. Also taking care of his schedule, making sure that when he gets somewhere, it's already taken care of, making sure that everything's scheduled on time, making sure that um, every event throughout his day runs smoothly. If we're going to a meeting with somebody, so everything's I take care of everything prior to that. Any paperwork he has to do or anything like that, it's already taken care of. Um, yeah, just basically anything he has to do, I make sure to like just make his life easier and just make sure it's already taken care of. Like being one step ahead,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
Um, if it goes with like booking Airbnbs or booking flights or like for the team and all that stuff, or if he wants to go somewhere like the movies, making sure like tickets are bought in advance. You know, um, just different stuff like that, really. Um, and just like anything that needs to be done in the house too. Um, like let's say there's a window broken, making sure that window's taken care of fast.
Hmm.
If anything's broken in the house, making sure it's taken care of fast. If we need anything in the house, making sure it gets ordered. Communicating with like the pool guy we have, or like the gardeners we have, or like anybody really. Just making sure everything runs smoothly
Hmm.
in his house and like with our team and with his schedule and anybody he's meeting with. So it's just like getting everything done for him before he even thinks about it.
Right. So you're a
Yeah,
lot of like the behind the scenes, like the back.
exactly. Like with vlogs and stuff, like let's say we need to hire like some actors or whatever, it's like I'll be the one to take care of that. I'll be the one to make sure they're on time, make sure everything's taken care of, that they're paid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all that really. It's all behind the scenes stuff. It's all, stuff in his life that he needs to be run, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And I'm sure he appreciates, everything you do in
mm.
working with him. And what do you think your childhood and growing up, and especially being as independent as you were, how do you think that helps you now?
I mean, it all goes with organization, really. If I'm able to be organized with my life, it's easier to be organized with his life because I just know everything that's going on. As long as I'm organized, it's it's pretty simple, really,
Hmm.
and just knowing stuff down to the details. It's all about detail as well. You know, um, it goes as far as knowing, like, like how cold he likes his ice bath. It literally goes as far as like knowing, like, I don't know how he likes his steak cooked.
Right.
Yeah, or like what like vitamins he takes on a daily, or like what he likes, what he dislikes, and all that stuff. It goes as far as that. So it's pretty simple if it's all organized and all like well maintained and you know taken note of properly.
Right. And how are you able to do that? Do you take a lot of notes, or do you just have?
Yeah, I write stuff down, but like over time, it's like it's kind of embedded into my brain. It's
Mhm.
like I already know stuff like supplements and stuff, or stuff that you take like vitamins. Like he is a boxer, so he obviously takes the proper treatment to make sure his recovery is perfect and all that. So
Mhm.
it's like I know the vitamins he's taking by heart.
Right.
I know how much he's taking. I know when he takes it and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like I already doing this for the amount of time that I've been doing it, which is like I think like 8 months now.
Mhm.
8, 9 months, something like that. It's like I already know all this stuff by heart.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And like that's impressive because, if you think about it, some people don't even know what each medication that they take themselves, you know?
Yeah,
And not
yeah,
only do you have to worry about yourself, but you also have to worry about, Jake Paul. And Jake Paul he's a lot.
yeah,
He he's an entertainer, he's a
yeah,
boxer, he does all this other stuff. So that's impressive. That's very important.
yeah. Yes,
And
sir.
so what have you learned in working with him so far? What are some of the biggest life
Um,
lessons?
um, Definitely a lot of stuff with like money and how to properly take care of your money. Which he's kind of taught me. Um, Also about building relationships with people around. You never really know who somebody is. Um, Probably the biggest one is building the relationships with people.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who are super low key, but they're very valuable. And it's like those people are the ones you want to build relationship with because they can benefit you in the long run. Even creating that, like I was mentioning before, even creating that personal relationship with them makes a big impact in your life.
right.
So it's also like about like being professional around certain environments. That's really gonna help you a lot, actually. But he's always like he really cares about a lot actually. So also that like caring about a lot of stuff, meaning like people wise. He's a
Right.
very like caring person when it comes to like a one-on-one interaction with somebody.
Mhm.
He's very so that's also something
Do
too.
do you think that's something that people don't see? Is how
Yeah,
caring he is?
yeah. They most like a lot of people see like what's on on YouTube and stuff. They don't really see like what it's like as a person one to one. And like yeah, it probably hasn't been conveyed as much, but it's like a lot of people think he's a shit person, but it's really not. Like
Yeah.
he takes care of like the people around him. He takes care of his family. He takes care of like his friends and all that. So
Right. Yeah, and people
yeah,
don't understand, like, you can only tell so much in like a 5 to 10 minute vlog, you know?
yeah, and it's also like stuff he doesn't put out. It's
Right.
stuff that's like more internal. Like he doesn't want to put it out. It's
Mhm.
just like he just does it because he wants to do it.
Right.
You know, it's like an example is like him and my girlfriend. They were talking and they threw me like a surprise party for my birthday. Not a
Mhm.
surprise party, but like it was like uh the people in the house, he like surprised me with some like shoes that I've been wanting for like forever, some expensive shoes. You
Yeah.
know, they they got me cakes and stuff like that, off the alcohol and all that stuff. So they he went out of his way to make sure that was done, which is really awesome. So it's like stuff like that that he won't put out, but like he does it amongst his team or amongst his family and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and that's important to like let the people know around you, especially like how important you are to them, and not have it not just be for like content or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't see that amongst like YouTubers and like TikTokers and all that stuff, but it's like once you're in the scene of it, it's like there's a lot of people that are like real people that care about the people around them that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't see online. They base those people what off they see like on TikTok or YouTube or any of that.
Yep. Exactly. And there's much more to any person, and I'm
And
sure.
like obviously like some people like put on a show obviously for like YouTube and all that stuff, but that's just what their audience wants.
Right.
But if you meet them like in person, it's like they're a completely different person. They're normal people. They're not cringy, any of that. They're like, you know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like a perfect example would be like JoJo Siwa,
Okay.
right? Like
I've
she
heard of
can be
her.
like a crackhead. She can be like a crackhead,
Yeah.
right? On YouTube, and in person, it's like she's just our normal kid.
Yeah.
She's actually more mature than when she acts on like. Because obviously her audience is little kids, so she has to put
Okay.
on a show for them.
Right.
You know, so it's like that.
Hmm.
She's just a normal teenager. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not any different than, any other high school teenager, you know?
Mhm.
So it's really what it is.
Exactly. And so what do you think has been your best experience so far in working with him?
Man, there's definitely a ton. Um, I want to say one of the best ones probably his fight in Miami versus Gibbs
Oh
in the
yeah.
end of January. That was a crazy experience.
Right,
That
yeah.
was a
That's going home for you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't really with family too much just because I had to take care of a lot of stuff for the fight.
Yeah.
Also, I was with Jake a lot, but like that was definitely a crazy cool experience. So
Right.
it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different now for his fight in September, just because of the whole like COVID stuff.
Right.
But it's still probably gonna be a crazy experience as
Yeah.
well.
Nate Robinson. He's fighting Nate Robinson, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
man.
How's the planning been going for that?
It's definitely more relaxed just because it's like I'm not having to deal with like distributing like 200 tickets,
Yeah.
you know. I'm not having to deal with like a crazy amount of people and like all that. It's more relaxed because it's like there's not that much that's going on just because it's very much more restricted because of COVID.
Yeah.
There's no audience. There's
Mhm.
no audience. It's like only four people gonna be with him or like his training and like his coaching staff
Yeah.
for the fight.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing insane really,
Mhm. Like, are you
which
gonna
is why
be
it's so weird. That's why it's so weird because there's like
right?
nobody else involved.
Right. Yeah. Like, are you gonna be able to be there? Because isn't it like Mike Tyson?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
Mhm.
We still don't have full details yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But most likely, yeah.
Like that would be insane to like not only see Jake fight Nate Robinson, but for that
Mike
to be
Tyson,
yeah, the Mike Tyson fight.
yeah,
Like he's
that's
coming
gonna
at
be insane.
50 something year old Mike Tyson. Like that's gotta
Yeah,
be like that's bucket list for some people.
yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be absolutely insane, and it's just like even being like around that is
Mhm.
it's crazy to me.
Right.
It's like a year ago, would ever think that I'd be watching Mike Tyson fight? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Sitting in your dorm room and the bottom floor of Marist and the
Exactly.
cocktails
Like
and all that. Like
even
who would
yeah, even for like Logan's fight, even being there, it's like
that was huge.
sold out, sold out Staples Arena. You know, being a foot away from Justin Bieber like that as well. Like
That's lit.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
All right. And so getting back to like some being like getting back to networking,
Yeah.
what would you say are some of the important things? Like, what advice could you give someone who's trying to network themselves into, a good position or uh, network themselves into more opportunities? Like, what would you
So
say?
so I have a friend of mine. She goes to Mar, or she just graduated in Mar.
Okay.
You probably know who she is.
Okay.
Gabby Ricciardi. You know who that is? She took pictures for the football team once I left.
All right. If I saw her, I definitely know her. Hmm.
So when she started taking pictures and stuff, I was kind of mentoring her a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And that's one of the things that she was struggling with was networking,
Hmm.
right? And she had got a when she started taking pictures and stuff, she had got an internship with the Jets, right, to be a photographer for them.
Hmm.
But she didn't know how to go about it. She was very timid. She has a great personality, right?
Yeah.
She's very timid, and she would tell me like all the time. Every time she'd go shoot, she'd tell me like what it was like. Da, da, da. I'm like, okay, cool. I've been around that experience, so I know how to act around people like that.
Right.
And I told her, look, you want to make sure that you stand out. Not anything like crazy, but like that you show who you are, your personality, right? Especially if you have like a crazy cool personality like she does, right?
Hmm.
You want to put yourself aside from everybody else. Like everybody meets square people, like super professional people that don't show who they really are,
Yep.
right? So I
Yep.
told her, I'm like, look, you're around these football players, you're around um all these people that just want to hang out with somebody cool, right? All these photographers at the Jets game, they're all squares. They're all just sitting there shooting. They're
Yep.
all older people too. They're all older people. I'm like, you're young. You're 21, 20 years old. Show your personality, because who knows, if you're showing your personality, you're showing who you are. Jamal Adams is gonna come up next to you and be like, oh, I like your personality. Do you have any pictures that you snapped? Right?
Yeah.
You're more likely to stand out. Put it that way.
Yep.
So she listened to me. She did that, and she got plugged in with a couple Jets players. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But then she started shooting for them personally,
Right.
right? And then they even told her, oh, like, I didn't even know you were like this. Like, you have a crazy cool personality. Da, da, da. And I told them, like, yeah, just be yourself. You know, do your thing. Don't be a square. Like,
Yep.
show people who you really are. And it's like she kept doing that. She kept showing them, joking around with people, like showing her personality and talking to more people. I'm like, put yourself out there. Don't be so timid. Don't be so, like, what's the worst they can say? It's like no,
Yeah.
or like no, thank you. It's like,
Right.
so put yourself out there. And by doing that, she got so many more connections, which led her to landing a position to be the Mets photographer. Right.
See?
So now she's shooting. So now she's shooting for the Jets and the Mets, right,
Yep.
as their daytime photographer. And it's like, by just like being yourself and not being fake and not wanting to create a relationship rather than just be so static, it's
Mhm.
going to help you immensely. And that's basically what I do. It's like, don't be so you know so much of a square when it comes to it. And it's like, it worked out well for her, and it worked out well for my friend Gus, right, who does the same thing. Now he's doing the same thing. He's filming with like Nike, Adidas, Gatorade, all that stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, it works out for them. And it's like, I just wish more people with great personalities like that would um be more of themselves, show who they really are.
Right.
It's nothing like, well, the worst that can happen is like, no, you're not gonna mess anything up, because it's like you know your skills are gonna talk for themselves.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a plus that you have a great personality, you're outgoing, you like to talk, right? It's just a plus to how good you can shoot or whatever. But in terms of like other people, let's say you're not like a photographer, videographer, or
Mhm.
any of that, even putting yourself out there and being different from everybody else, because everybody's gonna be static. Everybody's gonna be the
Everyone's
same.
gonna play it safe.
Exactly. But if you decide to be not bold, but like bold,
Yeah.
um, it's gonna make you stand out from other people, and it's like you're gonna be remembered versus like the 30 other people that acted the same or said the same thing.
Right.
You know, so that's just like something bigger that I think works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even in networking, like not being afraid to go up to somebody, not being afraid to talk to anybody. At the end of the day, people are just people. Whether if it's like someone as big as like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, if it's you, if it's me, if it's anybody really, if it's
Yeah.
Coach Parody football team, it's like, yeah, people are just people.
Yeah.
So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, don't be afraid to talk to anybody.
Mhm.
You know, don't be afraid to be yourself, to show your personality, and yeah, it's gonna work out better than if you're playing it safe and if you're acting so static,
Yeah.
when you're meeting somebody.
Dude, absolutely. Like that's some great advice. And you mentioned like your skills will speak for itself. What um what advice would you give someone who's trying to get into film or photography or editing? What advice would you give them in terms of how developing their skills to a point where they can do it professionally or at a high level?
Um, one sec, let him finish. Sending a voice memo.
Oh, I see.
So the advice that I'd give somebody as they're coming up, I've told this to a couple of people as well, and they've used it, It's basically okay. Everybody has the same excuse. I don't have a good camera. I don't have anything to shoot. I don't have this. I don't have that. You don't need a good camera to shoot. You could use your iPhone, especially now since iPhones have crazy good cameras.
Yep.
You know, you just need maybe a little stabilizer, a little tripod, whatever. Like, there's different hacks and techniques to doing stuff. You know, it's being creative with it, but basically working and putting in work to learning stuff. You know, so like you could film anything, bro, and make it look crazy dope. You could film random people
Yeah.
and make it look crazy dope. You know, so it's like there shouldn't really be an excuse. You could watch YouTube videos. There's thousands of YouTube videos out there that show you how to edit better, how to film better, to learn how to get different angles, cooler angles, or like different tricks to use with the camera when you're shooting like videos or pictures.
Hmm.
There's thousands of videos out there that teach you how to edit pictures, you know, but also like not so much copying that style, but also making it your own
Hmm.
in a way and creating your own style. But in terms of like practicing and working to become a better videographer, photographer, editor, whatever it is, it's just working. You know, not giving an excuse. Oh, I don't have film. I don't have any of it. You could even use like stock footage or YouTube videos as
Right.
videos, and yeah, you just practice your editing. Or
Hmm.
you could film stuff on your phone or a GoPro, you know, or any other cheap camera, right?
Right.
Like it could literally be anything, anything. Like examples, like Jake's put out a music video. I shot some of it on a VHS, right? It came out dope. They put it in a music video.
Yeah.
It's like it could be as simple as not even an iPhone. It could be a VHS camera, dude. And like that's honestly like that's a cool style to
Wait,
work with too, a
is
VHS.
that the one that you
So
like look into, like with the little?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, bro. Yes, it's in.
Oh my god.
My shots are in Jake's new music video. You know, so it's like there's no excuse. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's just like learning how to edit, which you could do that on YouTube, creating your own style to what you like, right?
Right.
And just filming random stuff. Eventually, you're gonna start filming some cooler stuff. You know, I wasn't filming cool stuff. You know, I literally was filming like the football team in high school, and they weren't that good.
Yep.
So I was literally, and my videos, I made them look like they were like top 5 best players in Florida.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I made them look baller. Like
Yeah.
another perfect example, Lemaire's team, dude. It's
Yeah.
like they weren't the best, but like I made them look like they were like a SEC D1 team,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
you
So
made
it's like
some dope content with
so
them.
that's what I'm saying. It's like even picture wise, like I made them look like they were like better than they were, and it was just like with the craft of like video and pictures, you're able to do that, and
Yeah.
it's just like learning and practicing and putting in the work to learn more is it's gonna get you better. You know, it's just like I had somebody call me a couple months ago from Marist. He graduated and he was asking me tips and stuff. I'm like, bro, just film random stuff. Even if you're doing a photo shoot, shoot behind the scenes of the photo shoot, put together a little video of some people, whatever. You can make it look dope. It can be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, and you can make it look dope. Right?
Yep.
Just be creative with it. You know, be creative with the editing, put your own style, put your own touch to it, and you're gonna make something dope. You know, yeah, some people are not gonna like it, but then use that to craft it and make it better. You know, maybe somebody didn't like this transition. Okay, then tweak the transition to how you like it better.
Hmm.
Or and who knows, maybe by accident, I've done this a whole bunch of times. By accident, you make something dope. You make a dope transition, or you make something dope. You know, it's like I've done it so many times, and it's like who knows? And now I know how to do 10,000 more different transitions by an accident. You know, so it's like it's stuff like that. And then once you start learning how to edit better, you start learning more about sound in videos, which plays a big role in videos. Um, which by just sound, you could have the world's like the crappiest video, but if you put some crazy sound into it, man, that video will go from like a 2 to like an 8 right there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, but like it's stuff like that, just little techniques, different things, little touches that can improve, you know, somebody's videos tremendously. Even like, you know, editing some pictures, creating your own style to it, your own touch, you know. So, and it's also by looking at inspiration when you're editing pictures. There's a lot of inspiration that can help you. Different
Right.
photographers that take some different pictures. Like I would say, like inspiration as like poses or like a type of look that you're going for.
Hmm.
Um, like yeah, like the internet's so big that you can literally not know anything about like videography or photography, and you'd go online, and within a month you'll literally be a professional.
Yep.
So it's like it's insane. And like me, I learned mostly through YouTube. So
Okay. Yeah.
you know,
Dude, thank you so much.
of
Like
course,
this
of
is
course,
this
of
is great.
course.
This is some great stuff. Is there anything else you'd like to say as we finish
Uh,
the podcast?
no, that should be it, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, so that was the podcast with Marcos Guerrero, the assistant to Jake Paul. Marcos, thanks again for coming on.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man, and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, brother.